During the prosperous era of His Majesty the King, Bahrain continues to play an active role in promoting the values of coexistence and peace, reflecting its commitment to the values of humanity and civilization. The kingdom is one of the leading countries in the international community that promotes the culture of coexistence, peace, and tolerance among religions. More in this report.
Due to its belief in the importance of religious pluralism and the respect for others as a consistent approach throughout its history to deal effectively with various challenges, the Kingdom of Bahrain continues to strengthen its active role as a center for dialogue and tolerance among religions and cultures, thanks to the freedom and openness promoted by His Majesty the King during his prosperous era, which enhances Bahrain's international standing and reflects its commitment to the values of humanity.
ولا يفوتنا أن نشير هنا إلى أحد مبادرات بلادنا دعماً لجهود السلام العالمية والمتمثلة في إعلان مملكة البحرين الذي دعمنا صدوره قبل عدة سنوات كوثيقة تدعو لرفض التمييز الديني وتدين العنف والتحريض، لينضم هذا الإعلان إلى غيره من الوثائق الهامة التي تسعى لذات الهدف من أجل تثبيت مواقفنا المشتركة نحو عالم يسوده التسامح ويناضل من أجل السلام وينبذ ما يفرق وحدته ويهدد نهوضه الحضاري الذي يجب أن يبقى العنوان الأبرز والامتحان الأكبر لوحدتنا الإنسانية.
Bahrain has a long history of cultural, religious, and ethnic diversity at the local level. Under the leadership of His Majesty the King and with the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Bahrain has been able to spread initiatives that promote coexistence and religious tolerance at the local and international levels, through cultural and religious events that brought together followers of different religions and cultures, thus promoting coexistence in the international community to embody its vision of building a world of peace and understanding. Bahrain has always sought to spread the values of tolerance and coexistence thanks to its pioneering model in promoting dialogue among cultures and religions. The Kingdom of Bahrain is keen to strengthen its leading role in the dialogue of civilizations, tolerance and coexistence, as it has always been committed to sponsoring the exercise of religious freedoms with its sectarian specificity, which is one of the constitutional and national constants that made Bahrain a beacon for a sound Islamic approach based on moderation, unity and harmony.
On the International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the National Human Rights Committee, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Zayani, praised the noble initiatives of His Majesty the King with the support of His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and their contributions in consolidating Bahrain's position as a leading model in spreading the culture of peace, promoting the values of tolerance and coexistence and dialogue among civilizations and cultures. The minister expressed pride in the royal vision that promotes a culture of coexistence, mutual respect, tolerance, and coexistence based on understanding and knowledge among peoples, cultures, religions, and civilizations as essential pillars for achieving justice, peace, and respect for human rights. He noted Bahrain's active role as a constructive partner within the United Nations system, particularly in advancing the goals of the Alliance of Civilizations through balanced diplomacy. He noted the launch of the Bahrain Declaration on Religious Freedom and the work of the King Hamad Global Center for Coexistence and Tolerance, which provides educational and cultural programs aimed at empowering young people to become ambassadors of peace. Dr. Zayani expressed pride in the Kingdom's recent education election as the non-permanent member of the UN Security Council for the 2026 to 2027 term, winning 99.5% of the General Assembly vote. He affirmed Bahrain's commitment to serving as regional and global model for dialogue and understanding. He said that Bahrain will continue to play a central role in promoting peaceful coexistence. The Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, Engineer Wael Mbarak, and Director General of the Prime Minister's Office, Hamad Al Mahmeed, participated in the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference 2025, hosted in Nice, France. Al Mbarak affirmed that the Bahraini government, guided by the vision of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, continues to implement plans, programs and projects aligned with national development goals within a particular focus on enhancing environmental security. He highlighted the National Action Plan, Blueprint Bahrain, aimed at achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. The minister reiterated Bahrain's support for international efforts to combat climate change and protect natural resources, including seas and oceans. He noted the constructive cooperation between the kingdom and various United Nations organizations, which has yielded positive outcomes in advancing environmental sustainability at all levels. The conference, held under the theme Accelerating Action and Mobilizing All Actors to Conserve and Sustainably Use the Ocean, aims to support the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal number 14. The Minister of Legal Affairs and Acting Minister of Labour Yusuf Khalaf announced that the Ministry of Labour will start implementing Ministerial Decision 3 of 2013 as amended by Decision 11 of 2025 on prohibiting work during midday. The decision prohibits employers and employment of workers whose nature of work requires them to be on the sun and in open areas from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. from June 15th to September 15th. The minister emphasized the extension of the ban period this year to 3 months instead of 2, which reflects Bahrain's commitment to developing national legislation and relative ministerial decisions to enhance occupational health and safety in the workplace. He pointed out that the implementation of this decision comes within the framework of the Ministry of Labour's keenness to promote a safe working environment, protect workers and ensure their safety from heat stress, sunstroke and reduce occupational accidents. The Minister of Social Development and Chairman of the 44th session of the Council of Arab Ministers of Social Affairs, Osama Al-Alawi, chaired a meeting of Arab ministers and heads of delegations held on the sidelines of the 18th Conference of State Parties to the Convention on the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities at the UN headquarters. The minister emphasized Bahrain's commitment under the leadership of His Majesty the King and the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to enhance the rights of persons with disabilities. This commitment is reflected in policies and legislation that ensure dignity and full integration into society, alongside ongoing support for collective Arab efforts in this domain. He highlighted the vital role played by the United Nations in advancing disability and social development issues and commended the fruitful partnership between the organization and Arab states. Al-Alawi emphasized the importance of regional cooperation and the exchange of successful experiences, calling for intensified joint Arab efforts to support the rights of persons with disabilities and develop comprehensive and sustainable responses while ensuring adherence to relevant international commitments. The third session of the 6th legislative term of the Shura Council is a milestone in the course of legislative and oversight work. This important milestone reflects the Council's commitment to its constitutional constants and its active national presence, which enhances its role in serving the country and its citizens. The third session of the 6th legislative term of the Shura Council constituted a qualitative stage in consolidating the responsible legislative approach and enhancing the tools of effective parliamentary oversight. This term was characterized by the Council's integrated presence and constructive continuation of achievements under the royal patronage of His Majesty the King, within a framework of a solid constitutional partnership with the Council of Representatives and fruitful cooperation with the government. And for more on this topic, we are now joined over the phone by Shura Council member Dr. Hani As-Saati. Hello and welcome, Dr. As-Saati. Can you tell us what are the most important achievements of the Shura Council during the third session of the 6th legislative term?
First, I would like to thank you for this opportunity and extend a warm welcome to the esteemed viewers. Back to your question, Aisha. The third regular session of the sixth legislative term marked a qualitative milestone in the legislative journey of the Shura Council. In fact, the Council continued its active role in reinforcing the constitutional principles by utilizing the available legislative tools and building on the gains achieved in the previous sessions. And that's all, of course, aimed at advancing the legislative system. For instance, for you and esteemed viewers' information, during this third session, the Shura Council held 29 regular meetings and one extraordinary session, during which we have discussed 49 legislative matters that included 3 royal decrees with the force of law, 38 draft laws, and 8 proposed laws. Nevertheless, the Council also reviewed 2 final state accounts, and the Council members have submitted 23 parliamentary questions to ministers during this session. And finally, I would like to highlight among the most important legislation discussed during this term was the general state budget for the year 25-26.
And how would you describe the cooperation between the executive and legislative authorities during the third session of the sixth legislative term?
The ongoing fruitful cooperation between the legislative and executive authorities forms a fundamental pillar in supporting democratic progress and, of course, enhancing the effectiveness of the national action. This close coordination contribute to enriching the development of legislative framework, as I would describe, and ensures those laws are implemented in a ways that can meet the citizens' needs and, of course, aligned with the comprehensive development efforts. Indeed, this cooperation was clearly reflected the active participation of the government entities in our meetings in the Shura Council committees, where they have provided us sometimes with their insight and constructive feedback that might support the drafting of a kind of balanced and effective legislation. Perhaps I would say this demonstrates the esteemed government's commitment to engaging positively with legislative initiatives and reinforcing the foundation of the institutional, I would say, partnership and serving, of course, overall the public interest.
Shura Council member Dr. Hani Saati, thank you for joining us. The Supreme Committee for Hajj and Umrah expressed its appreciation to the Bahraini Hajj campaigns for their cooperation and effective coordination throughout all stages of this year's Hajj season. The committee highlighted the importance of joint preparations and constructive engagement with the approved plans from an early stage, which played a pivotal role in ensuring smooth procedures and the successful organization of travel arrangements for Bahraini pilgrims. The committee also commended the efforts of the campaigns in facilitating the movement of pilgrims between the holy sites in accordance with the established plans and in coordination with the relevant authorities in Saudi Arabia. It affirmed that providing the best possible services to enable pilgrims to perform the Hajj rituals with ease and peace of mind remains the ultimate goal of all organizational measures. The head of the medical committee of the Bahrain's Hajj mission, Dr. Ibrahim Abeid, affirmed that the mission's clinics in Mina and Arafat efficiently managed all medical cases received and provided prompt care and as part of integrated system to ensure the safety and comfort of pilgrims during Hajj. He noted that the Mina clinic treated several cases, including heat exhaustion, fatigue, high blood pressure, and other health concerns, all of which were addressed immediately thanks to the preparations of medical teams and clinic facilities. Dr. Abeid added that the Arafat clinic provided care for Bahraini pilgrims experiencing fatigue, with medical teams delivering close monitoring and appropriate treatment, enabling pilgrims to complete their rituals safely and comfortably. Footage of the Grand Mosque showed majestic scenes of the Tawaf, where the farewell circumambulation in the Grand Mosque was smooth amid an atmosphere of reverence and tranquility. During the Tawaf, the competent authorities paid great attention to people with disabilities and the elderly. Electric cars were made available for them, and qualified drivers were provided to serve them to ensure that they performed the ritual with ease and comfort. These efforts are part of a series of services and organizational arrangements made by Saudi Arabia to serve the pilgrims, reflecting the approach of care that Saudi Arabia is committed to in all stages of Hajj.